Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, featuring Zenrotto and Oceans.
Hello, I'm back.
He's back. We got rid of his brother. We got someone who actually knows how to run the show.
Yeah, I was gone last week, and I was, of course, replaced by my evil twin brother, who is not quite as eloquent with words. And to those few people I saw in the comments saying that they would rather have my brother host the show instead of me, uh, I know where you live, so watch your fucking backs, all right? Anyway, if I'm sure you guys were in good hands with Zenrotto last week. I hear you had some fun.
It was a good time. It was a good time. I'm not eager for another guest like that, but, you know.
Yeah. I absolutely love how you didn't explain jack shit in the
Yeah,
episode
I
either.
know. I didn't even put timestamps on.
Yeah, you
I
were just
just
like,
went through it
anyway.
like it was a thing.
Yeah, and people like ask me like, "Oh, what the fuck was up with you this week? Like, you sound so weird." I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm not there. I was busy fucking doofing around with the military because I have to do it because the fucking draft is mandatory here. Trust me, I don't like it either."
I just want to point
Um,
out that at one point while he was doing this, he sent me a message that said something about Gojo being extremely hot, and then he was like, "If this is monitored by the government, I don't care. They need to know."
yeah, I was texting him via army base Wi-Fi, which is probably monitored. So yeah, the Swiss government now knows that Gojo can absolutely get it. Thank you, Swiss government. Uh, on that note, we also legalized gay marriage today, so that's
That's
cool.
exciting. That's good. There's gonna be a lot of
Yeah,
comments on this episode about that, I think.
dude, I tweeted about it and some guy replied saying, "So happy for you and Zen." I was so fucking mad.
Inevitable.
Yeah. But you see, this is why you go vote, kids. I voted, and the country replied. So go vote when you can, and if you're of age, and if it's possible.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude, vote, but do it good.
yeah, just don't waste votes. That's the main thing. Just don't do dumb shit with your votes because they actually do have a pretty big effect. But anyway, is there anything else we need to address before we get started? The art contest is still going for another 2 weeks, is it?
Yes. So next week will be the last regular episode before the conclusion of the art contest, and then episode 47, which will be 2 weeks from today, will be a live episode where we'll go through the entrance and we'll pick out maybe like two winners
Mm-hmm.
from the art contest.
Yeah, I mean, we'll um, we'll just deal with however it comes along, right? Like if we have, I don't actually know how many submissions we have right now, but if we're just flooded with them and we can't choose one winner or even two, we'll just do however many we think are good. Um, and that's it in terms of announcements, right?
I believe so. I think we're
All
gonna go.
right, perfect.
Well, okay, wait. There's also the basic ones. Um, we sell stickers. They'll be in the description. We have a
All right,
Patreon. It's also in the description, but we'll talk about the Patreon more at the end.
all right, good. I almost forgot that we are now also in the sticker business.
Yes, we're now sticker merchants.
Can't believe this shit.
Vile
Um,
capitalist sticker merchants.
hey, capitalism is bad until it profits me.
Which it's doing, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, wait. You know what? I'm gonna check right now how much money we've made off of the stickers because I believe it is a very small amount.
I would be amazed if it's more than $10.
Wait. Let me see. Let me see. What's my? You talk. You keep the people entertained while I try and look
All
at
right,
our
everybody.
capitalist earnings.
Well, we might as well go through the Patreon now while he's looking up embarrassing figures about our sticker numbers. So we do have a Patreon now. It's in the description. Um, we have 3 tiers right now. We have like a tip jar tier that's just like the lowest Patreon will let you tip with actually giving us a profit in return. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we have a $10 tier that will allow you to recommend a manga that we will read at the end of well, we won't read it live on the air. We'll read it ahead of time, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. And then that's also going to have some Patreon exclusive content, which is going to be me and only me. I mean, I guess Oceans can do it if he wants to, but I figure he's busy and he does things with his day that I don't do. Where I will read 30 chapters of the series that wins the vote at the end of the month and upload my thoughts on it just as a Patreon exclusive kind of thing. And then for the $20 tier, you get everything that's lower than it. So you get the weekly, you get like the reader segment submission, and you get the Patreon exclusive audio files. And then you also get a guaranteed call-in slot on Shonen and Chill Plus. So exciting stuff for everybody involved, of course, especially me. And let's see, what else is there to talk about?
Well, no, actually, I have the numbers. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
We have made, off of our sticker collection launch, a whopping $5.
Hey, that's $2.50 each, buddy.
I mean, we are in for it now. We are airing out our our riches here live, or I suppose not live, but here on air.
Capitalism flourishing under our guidance.
I can't believe we sold our ideologies and souls for $2.50 each. It's gotta be a record.
Hey man, that's a large Coke and a small fry at McDonald's, all right?
Are you fucking kidding me? That shit is that cheap at your place?
Well, we get sodas are $1 any size because we're fat, so we just always get larges for $1.
I can't believe.
I don't think you can afford the fries. Also, I think the fries are like $2.
I can't fucking believe you guys. You know how much a Coke and fry combo costs here? You want to fucking guess?
$13.
Well, not quite that bad. It's 10.
That's actually worse than I was expecting it to be.
Dude, a day at the cinema will easily cost you upwards of $50. Like,
Jesus.
We live in hell.
Actually, that's true here too. Because the tickets are like $13, and then they're like, "Oh, do you want a small popcorn?" That's $9.
Yeah, a small popcorn being $9, that would be okay for me. Try 15.
Oh God.
Yeah. Anyway, we've managed to stall long enough. I think we should now start talking about the comics.
If we have to. That's everybody's least favorite part of the show.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone's just here to continuously edge us on until we finally announce our gay marriage. But see you in episode 100, fuckers.
Edge was a very specific word there to use.
What can I say? Except I do. What? Anyway. Why don't you tell me your top 3?
All right, my top 3 for this week. Number 3 was a close race, but I had to give it to My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Mashle. And number 1, obviously, Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't even need to do that part.
All right. That's actually pretty good, because my number 3 is Mashle, my number 2 is My Hero, and my number 1 is Jujutsu.
All right. I love it when it works out.
Yeah, we've synced up once again. I've come back after our little break, and our brains have just interfaced again the way they used to. We're back.
We're back in business, baby.
All right.
So let's jump back. Let me open my super advanced notepad where I write the timestamps of everything down so I can copy them over.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll get started on our other chapters here. We do have some monthlies we have to talk about, for better or for worse.
Have to talk about is a very good term here, because
no choice but to talk about, because that's what we do.
Shackled.
Yeah, cursed. It's Dragon Ball Super is the first one. Boy, it's yucky.
It's my only thought on Super is that I find it so fucking funny how every time Bardock gets mentioned, the entire community clamps up in horror. Because oh no, what is he gonna do with him now?
What the fuck is he doing now? Yeah.
Whereas, I'm actually not opposed to Bardock storylines in Super. I'm totally fine with it. I don't know. I just feel like he's the kind of character you could make something cool out of. But then again, this is Super, so we can't have nice
Yeah,
things.
yeah, it's super, so they're gonna flub the ball terribly. I think the issue that people have with Bardock is you have to be really careful how you do Bardock, because otherwise, like doing too much with Bardock really can screw over Goku's story. Like how Dragon
Mm-hmm.
Ball Minus kind of just made his origin story the exact same as Superman's.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Anytime you do a Bardock story, you threaten to make Goku less interesting, and so people are very nervous.
Oh God, what's gonna happen when people realize that Goku has actually not ever really been all that interesting? Oops.
All
Uh,
right, man. Let's not. We're only we're only 9 minutes into the episode. Let's not bring the wrath of God down on us. All right.
if you have any complaints with the previous statement, please refer to Mr. Zenrotto for any letters of complaint. Thank you. Uh,
Oh God.
yeah. Anyway, Super was duty. Let's move on.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants. No, we don't want to talk about Super. No one really wants to hear us talk about Super. So yeah, let's just move on.
That's the whole segment. It's yucky duty.
Yeah, it's EO.
All right.
Get it
Let's
away
see.
out of 10.
All right. So
Um,
the next one is gonna be Vigilantes.
which was actually uncharacteristically good this time around. I actually kind of liked it.
Eh.
Like it still is paced like absolute fucking garbage. Like, oh my god, we still have not moved past one attack per chapter. But the one attack that happened this chapter was cool. Like with Knuckle Duster coming back and with Six turning
That
into.
was that was the only part that I thought was cool. That shit got me a little hype when Knuckle Duster just popped up and was like, "Yeah, nah, bro." That was pretty sick. The
Yeah,
sniper rifle thing, I was like, "What's happening? What the fuck is
it's
this supposed to be?"
Discount Lady Nagant. You know, it's everyone calls Hori the callback merchant, but holy shit, Vigilantes can just not stand on its own legs whatsoever.
Yeah, it really
It's
does
kind of
feel like they
comical.
wait for something to get really popular in the main series, and they're like, "Bam, we figured out a thing that we're doing next."
Yeah, yeah, with Mirko as well, right?
Mm-hmm. For no reason,
With
having her in a whole
yeah,
arc.
yeah, but I think like Six transforming into sniper rifle, that was okay as far as reference goes, and I think Knuckle Duster coming in to say I'm here and referencing the My Hero Volume 11 cover, I think that was pretty cool. Like that's probably the best reference the series has had thus far. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I can't believe I've turned into the exact kind of person I didn't like, which is oh, Vigilantes is only good when Knuckle Duster is in it. Because I always thought that's such a reductive way to look at it, but at the same time, it's absolutely true.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the problem, right?
yeah, like it feels like a bad take, but at the same time, God, it really does shoot up in quality the moment he appears.
Yeah, it feels like a bad take on paper, like a borderline Vigilantes is actually better than the main series kind of take. But then
Hmm.
like he shows up and I'm like, "Oh, that was actually a cool thing. The first cool thing it did in months."
Yeah, like, dude, this final fight is probably gonna end with Knuckle Duster and Six killing each other, and that's gonna bump my score for Vigilantes up by like a point or two, because that shit would be raw as hell.
Yeah, it's going to go from completely unbearable to me to like actually pretty fucking raw if that
Yeah,
happens.
oh my god, we're gonna get to a situation where I'm gonna post like Vigilantes greater than the main series take, and then just log off from Twitter for like a week, just
Just
to
let
come
the
back to an actual minefield.
uh
Uh, okay, yeah, no, Vigilantes was okay out of 10.
pretty
I'm
pretty
okay
all
with what
rightish
happened.
out of 10 on the last two pages.
Yeah, pretty much. The last spread it was better than the entire arc so far.
That's
Uh,
true. Oh no, that's actually true.
one spread to save them all. Uh, all right, what's next, Magic Man?
All right, next up is going to be Witch Watch.
Dude, this shit was cute.
It was super cute. Kiss already. Kiss.
Yeah. Oh my god. When the whole spell happened, I was still very sort of like I wasn't very suspicious of it yet. I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna be a one-off. And then towards the end, I realized, oh, he's gonna realize the spell has worn off, but his feelings haven't, isn't he? And then that's exactly what
That's
happened. I'm like,
exactly what
yes,
happened. Yeah.
yeah, boy.
It's super cliche, but in like a the perfect way. Like it's cliche in the yes, that this is the what am I trying to say? This is the cute and cuddly version of rawness and swag.
Yeah, pretty much. Cute and cuddliness.
Cute and
Cute and
cuddliness out of 10.
I should have given you that as a sound clip. Also, did you obviously since you didn't explain the soundboard thing, you didn't tell them what the clips were called, right?
No, but I did release the soundboard to the Discord.
I saw that. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, the clip where I do monkey noises, which that is me making monkey noises, that was fun to record. It's called Jujutsu Kaisen
Yeah, it's
MP3.
literally just called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, that was a fun afternoon recording that shit. And now everyone in the Discord. That's 300 people who now have a recording of me making
Of you
chimp
making
noises.
monkey noises.
I'm sure that. I mean, I have worse sound clips of me on the internet. Like there's one of me saying, "Mickey, we have to eliminate the minorities" in a goofy voice. So you know, I've been there, done that.
Oh my god, where were we? What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about Witch Watch. Fucking brain
Yeah.
just blanked out. Yeah, it was just cute as hell. It was
Yeah.
definitely one of those chapters where it felt like the poop one, where they were like, "Here's a silly hijink we're gonna get into today," but it was a cute one, so it's all right.
Yeah, exactly. Like the hijink itself was I don't know, it's like it pertained more to like our core investment to the series, right? Because we're not reading this to hear about other characters' bowel problems. We're reading this because we want these two idiots to kiss. So anything that advances that goal is a good chapter, in my opinion. Uh, so yeah, cuteness and cuddliness out of 10 for me.
Yeah, cuteness and cuddliness out of 10. I like that. We're gonna go with that.
All right,
So
what's next?
oh, I wanted to say I spent way too long trying to read what her shirt says because ever since he started wearing their YouTube merch, I'm like, is
Mm-hmm.
every screen tee a reference to something? And I still can't read it. I have no idea what that shirt says.
Let me pull out my
I think it might say turn the tables.
my device. Turn the tables. Where is my Shonen Jump app?
It is
There we
page
go.
7.
My page savon. Yeah, that's turn the table for
Okay.
sure.
So not
Because
a
you can see the
reference to anything.
turn. Well, I mean, actually, we could analyze now that this chapter has turned the tables on the story. For now, Morihito has realized his feelings, whereas Nico seems to be oblivious to the fact that his feelings have not worn off. Therefore, it has quite literally turned the table on the character dynamics. Ho ho.
All right, we're going to
There
move
you
on to
go.
the next chapter.
What's next? Before I get pretentious.
Next up is going to be Red Hood.
Which was okay.
It's fine.
Uh, like it was, yeah, all right. Like it's fallen down the hole that I didn't want it to fall into, which is that these exams are taking too long.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit about the backstory of all these random people, and I'm kind of worried that we're gonna keep like
Getting them.
getting them. Yeah, and then they're gonna use this exam as like an excuse to be like, this. You can tell who the main party is gonna be because we're gonna keep fucking shoving these backstories in here. Um, I don't care
Yeah.
about them. I thought the humor in this chapter was pretty good though. Like when he said, "Yeah, the exam proctor wants to test us, but Grim doesn't give a shit. She's just gonna probably break a few of your bones." And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna win, even if I have to break a few of your bones." Like exactly what he said. That was pretty funny. Uh, I like the concept of him using the exam like as room and board, basically, so he doesn't have to go and live somewhere and earn
Mm-hmm.
money. Um, but Otherwise, it was just a long chapter about a character I don't really know or care about, and I don't find his
It-
backstory that interesting.
yeah, I mean, I think it's funny that he's called Bonkers. That's that's kind, and I think his actual like his adult design is pretty cool. That's kind of it. He's just a huge guy called Bonkers. That's the best part about him. He's just a ginormous boy. I'm a big fan of that. But aside from that, yeah, it's so frustrating because I feel like this series had a had a good bit of momentum going, but just couldn't keep it up. And now we're just stuck in this weird exam arc that doesn't see like I'm sure it has stuff here that will eventually become relevant if the series survives long enough. But I just don't think it's wise to spend this much time in an exam setting before we've even arrived to the Hunters Guild, which
Yeah,
you would assume is the like core what you might call it, the core appeal of the series, or is supposed to be.
right.
So so you know that's
I mean, we
just
often use Jujutsu Kaisen as a comparison, and we're at chapter 12 of Red Hood, and chapter 15 of Jujutsu Kaisen was Gojo versus Jogo. Like, Yuji had multiple lessons on what curse energy is, how to use it. We've seen the school, all this kind of stuff by now. It feels like Red Hood is starting to get stuck in the mud.
yeah. Because also, if we compare to My Hero, chapter 12, if I'm not mistaken, is Deku versus Bakugo part 1.
Really?
Yeah. So, you know, Deku has entered the school and he has met his classmates and he has, you know, he's fighting his rival for the first time.
Man, people are not going to be happy that we both just made a My Hero and Jujutsu Kaisen comparison directly.
Actually, you know what? You know what? Chapter 12 of My Hero is after uh, Deku versus Bakugo. It's the aftermath. It's the chapter where Ida becomes the class representative. I just checked. Like, yeah, it's just, and obviously, you know, it's not like these two series are the golden standard of how to do it. My Hero is the golden standard of shonen because it's fucking good. Die mad. But there still is something we said that Red Hood, especially now, is struggling with keeping that sort of momentum going that it had at not at the start, but like over like chapter, I want to say,
I think it started
from
again at like
chapter,
chapter 4 or 5 when we
yeah,
started.
4 or 5,
Yeah.
and then up until the exam. And now, I mean, the first chapter of the exam was also pretty cool, but now
Oh no, it
I
was
need
even
this
later
shit
than
to
that.
end.
It was chapter 6 was when it actually started being good.
Oh yeah, you're right. Um, so you know, it's just a shame. I really, really hope it can recover, but you know, in those first 20, 25 chapters, you really just have to knock it out of the park nowadays with Shonen Jump, because I mean, we fucking saw what happened to Candy Flurry and Phantom Seer, although I'd argue Phantom Seer was knocking it out of the park and it didn't help, so
Yeah, Phantom Zero is a,
what do
is a
I know?
mystery. I mean,
We're just gonna get upset again.
yeah, there's no point in going back down this rabbit hole because it just ends in us being hurt for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, so what's next? Let's just move on.
All right, well, we'll say Red Hood is please get your shit together out of 10. Um,
Yeah,
Next up is the Elusive Samurai.
which is another chapter that I was kind of disappointed by.
Yes, I saw someone on Twitter. It was funny because I said Jujutsu Kaisen carried the book this week, which it did. Y'all can bite me. Um, and immediately someone was like, "That was an okay chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, but Elusive Samurai was flames." And I was like, "What?" I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it. We got like an introduction to the big bad group, and then they just
Mm-hmm.
like massacred
Kill.
a buttload of random peasants.
Yeah, like kind of not much to it. Like page 13 is pretty cool. The composition there with like the two big swords forming a panel.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I also think I don't love how this group is just like, oh, we're the evil version of the main group.
Kind of.
Like you have the two
Uh,
sword fighters, you have the strategist girl, there or maybe guy, I don't know, that points out the all the strategic layouts, and she's using the same maps that our strategy guy uses, and it's like, okay.
yeah, It's a shame, but I
Although,
mean,
again, really good joke. The guy in the horse mask. Really good
yeah,
joke.
the random humor is something that this author definitely knows how to do. Um, Imagawa Dono is another scary guy. It's just the
It's
horse.
just a guy in a horse mask, yeah, and the dude was like, he gives off an unforgiving vibe.
I mean, horses are scary. Uh, like let's not forget, horses are opportunistic carnivores. Despite what school might have taught you.
Well, there you go.
So,
School
yeah,
lied.
be scared of horses. They're mean, and they will eat baby chicks if they have the chance.
Oh my
So,
god.
yeah, it's one of those because, like, I mean, random tangent, but it wouldn't be me if it weren't we didn't get at least one of them. Herbivore, like strict herbivory in large mammals is actually not that strict. A lot of them will eat meat if they can find it. Just that a lot of them don't have a lifestyle that permits them to regularly eat meat. But if a horse finds itself in a position where it can just lift a baby chick in its mouth and pop it like a popcorn, it'll do it. No questions asked.
Damn, I don't like horses anymore.
Were you a horse girl, bro?
No, but I didn't hate them.
Oh,
Now I
well,
think
I
I
don't
hate them.
hate. Hey, it's just animals.
I don't know,
It's
man.
just
If
how
your
it
if your
goes.
diet consists of grass and popping baby ducks like fucking grapes, then maybe I'm not on board with you.
Maybe I just don't vibe with
Yeah,
you.
maybe you just have a rancid vibe.
The vibes are disastrous. Imagine you're like an investigator and you arrive at a crime scene and they're like, what can you tell us? Have you seen anything? And you're just like, the vibes are just terrible here.
All I know, Sergeant, is that the vibes in this room are disastrous.
Your Honor, my client's vibes are immaculate.
It couldn't have been him.
My Honor, you could say he's built different. Those memes are so fucking funny.
They are so funny. I love those. I wish they didn't die out. You never see them anymore.
Yeah,
Oh, they're
well,
so good though.
we old men get to keep them alive since we're so out of touch with the Zoomers. Uh, wait, Zen, you're a millennial, right?
I am.
What the fuck am I? Because I'm younger than you, but I'm older than Zoomers.
Then you're a millennial. There's like a weird little age wiggle. What year were you born?
I'm 96.
96 is. It depends on who you ask, but 96 is either the very last year of millennials or the very first year of Zoomers. So basically, you get to pick whichever one you identify the most with.
Okay, so whenever I'm annoyed by one of them, I'm the other.
Yes, you get the wiggle room to do that.
Well, okay, I mean, those generation names are also very Americanocentric. Uh, Although they do apply to Middle Europe somewhat as well. But yeah, I guess I'm just whatever I want to be. I'm just special like that. Wait, how much younger than you am I?
5 years.
Oh, damn. Damn.
Yeah, I was in kindergarten when you were born, bro.
Oh, shit. My condolences. Yeah, actually, when do I turn 25? I turn 25 in December. Mark it in your calendars if you want to bully me
What's wrong with
about being an
25?
old man.
It's not a bad
The
age.
same, the same thing that's wrong with every age that's higher than mine. I'm
Oh,
getting older.
you're gonna be older. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Anyway, enough existential dread. What's next?
Elusive Samurai. God, did we even talk about the Elusive Samurai? We were obviously
We did.
off our.
We said it was kind of mid.
Oh, it was kind of mid.
It has this week eluded rawness. Out of 10. That's my
all right,
verdict.
so next up is gonna be Undead Unluck.
Dude, I am last chapter as well, since I wasn't here last week to talk about it. These last two chapters have made me feel some weird shit. Cause like,
Because of how lovey they're being.
yeah, it's like, oh, this is so cute, and I genuinely want them to, work things out and be a cute couple. But of course,
Yeah.
there's the thing you all know I'm gonna say. So,
Yeah.
uh, it's um, it's it's complicated, but for what it's worth, I can definitely say I enjoy I enjoy the relationship a lot. This final arc has been a really, or I suppose it's the final arc. I don't know actually, but this arc has been really good at sort of emphasizing the aspects of the series that I like. So that's a good thing.
I really like how the bad guy said zounds.
Zounds?
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah. When Billy leans the tower, Spring goes zounds,
Zounds.
which is funny. It's got some serious Jinkies energy to it.
Jinkies, Batman. Um, also, maybe I'm just dumb, but I don't get Billy's ability.
Yeah, it really kind of seems like he just has access to every power.
Yeah, but with some condition. Like he can. Yeah, the Union's abilities aren't the only ones I can use, which means that there must be some limit to it, because he seems to want to get his hands on Unluck.
Yeah, so I guess
And
he can't have used it yet because like what the fuck is unbalance?
oh,
Whose power is to negate the structural integrity of a building?
well, a character that rightfully has not appeared in the story, because who the fuck would want a character like that in their story? Hi, I am Bob the Unbuilder. Let's break this house. Just goes to town on it. But yeah, no, I'm really digging this dynamic right now, and I also like how the final moments, because I assume they're gonna reach spring pretty soon. Seems like the final climb is gonna be up to Fuko instead of Andy, since Andy has Billy in sort of a stalemate. So that's pretty cool. I like it. I like how it's crazy. I really like how this series has sort of redeemed Fuko and Andy into genuinely cool characters that I can cheer for.
Well, I
It's
don't believe that Billy is in a stalemate anymore.
you
Um,
don't?
so unmove requires direct eyesight, and he
Mhm.
broke it in the last panel to look at Fuko.
Oh,
And
you're
then you see
right.
the gloves that were hovering above Andy's head are falling and hitting him in the face.
Oh, yeah, okay, you're right, you're right. Well, either way, we'll have to see what happens next. Because his gun is still in Andy's face in the final panel.
Yes. So, I mean,
But
I guess he could just look back, but they definitely made a point to emphasize that he is no longer looking at Andy, and the unmove is broken.
Mhm.
So it might be something like Fuko versus Spring while Andy is fighting Billy or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I will also say I like the way, whenever Billy uses a negator ability, the way it's drawn, like with the glitchy effect around it. Super cool.
Yeah, I like how
Like to
it's not
show.
the normal way that it's shown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that a lot.
Super nice. Um, Also, I'm still so mad that his name is Billy.
Yeah,
Fucking
it's
hate
not a cool
that.
name. It's really not a cool
Not at
name.
all. Yeah, but aside from that, like this chapter was fairly light. It was really just cuteness followed by rawness. Like I like how mature they're being, like Andy and Foucault, about like their relationship. Where Andy's just like, "Look, let's do this, and then we'll talk. And we really need to have this talk because it seems like it's overdue." I like that. I like characters in Shonen making sense, I guess. Woohoo, go me.
Yeah, it's
Um,
nice when they're actual like they feel like people.
yeah, exactly. Also, yeah, I just reached the page again with Spring going, "Zounds, how very odd."
Yes. I love Spring already. He's the best one.
Yeah, I mean, he just drinks booze and turns you into sakura trees. Let's go.
Also, apparently we now have confirmation that the robot guy is not dead. All that light speed kick did was break his equipment somehow.
Okay, that seems like a waste of that attack. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
because
be completely
he's
one
on that
hundo with
page,
you.
just like tied up.
Which page?
The Zounds page. He's on the very far right of the page, up in the corner.
Oh, so he is.
Yep.
Okay, that's dumb. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of dumb. Also, I just realized the sounds page has the JoJo sound effect on the tower.
Oh, it does.
Someone's gonna be super mad in the comments that I called it the JoJo sound
Yeah,
effect.
they're gonna get really pissed off. Someone's gonna get really pissed off.
Like, oh no, what? JoJo's influential after 30 years of successful publication? How dare you? How dare you imply that? But anyway, Undead Unluck I think gets an unbad out of 10 from me.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to make an unjoke here because I'm gonna fuck it up. It was good. I liked it out of 10. All right. So next up is gonna be. Did you read Piss 6?
I did actually,
All
both
right. Well, then
chapters.
we'll talk about Piss 6.
Okay, triple PP. Uh, how do I phrase this? It's like there is a good story here, but it's muddled by some really weird presentation.
That's
I
a
think
pretty
that's the
good
best.
way to put it. Yeah, I think the core elements here, there's something there. But as
Yeah.
I'm reading through it, I'm like, this is, I don't know if cluttered is the right word, but the vibes here are atrocious. There's something
Uh,
about it that's just putting me off.
incomprehensible. Have a nice day. That's kind of the vibe I got through here. Because, like, I dig the story, I dig the premise, but then you get to scenes like where he plays the piano for Dada Sensei, and he's like, "Oh, your music is like a scene I could step into," and it's like, what? Okay. It's just like it's hard to visualize music on page in the first place, and the way it does it here is just not very effective for me.
Yeah,
Um,
it's hard having a series that's entirely about an auditory medium and you can't like feel it, right? Because they'll be like, "Oh my God, he's playing the greatest song in the world. I'm so touched." And I'm like, "Wow, this looks exactly like every other panel of him playing the fucking piano."
yeah, exactly. I will say the page turn from after he finds out that his mom is gonna die, where he doesn't react at first, and then on the next page in the lowest panel, page 13, the teacher's like, are you all right? And you just see him like trying his hardest not to break out in tears. Like that was good. Like it has spirit. It has the right ingredients, but I really need to clean it. I really needed to clean up its act a little. It really just is not. It's not doing a good job of communicating itself to me. Not to mention, it's really visually cluttered in a lot of ways. Like a lot of panels have these weird drop shadows that I really think only detract from the art. And I think they must be a thing in the original version. If Wiz added them, that'd be a first. I don't think I've ever seen them do that specifically. Uh, so yeah, that's very unfortunate. I'm also not a huge fan of the art. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
think it can be very
super
good.
attached to it. It's okay.
Yeah, like it's all right, it's functional, but again, it gets really cluttered very easily.
Yeah, it's very like it's not sketchy as much as like I don't even know how to describe it. It just feels like there's a lot of fluff in a lot of these panels.
Yeah. Like look at page 22, where almost every speech bubble has a hard black shadow behind it.
Yes, which I don't even understand why. Is
Yeah,
that
I
supposed
guess
to be them
it's
talking? Is that like him seeing them talking in the music world and he's talking over
yeah,
them?
maybe, or I don't know, because there's another one. If you go to page 21, when he says, "I want my mom to see all seven of us playing the piano together again," you have again a sort of transparent drop shadow. And is it to give it more impact? Is it to give it sort of the boom? Because obviously this is trying to play with sound. But I just don't think it's working for it. I really hope it can clean up its act a little. Um, Also, I will never get over the fact that this series is literally just called Triple PP.
Yeah,
Piss 6.
Piss
How
6.
catchy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who named this. Also, the author's name is Mapalo 3.
Yeah, I saw that. Uh, Japan. Um, but yeah, not much to say else on Piss 6. I really hope it gets its act together soon. Because the core narrative premise of I want to become a pianist so that my mom, who is going to die within a year, um, could can see me play alongside my talented siblings. That's a super cool premise. I am into that, but I just can't vibe with some of the stuff here. It just doesn't touch me enough, which is a bad sentence to say out of context, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, I feel more or less the same way. I'm not very attached right now, but it's not like weird bad like I find Naru, where I'm like, I don't even want to look at this. I'm just like, this is Piss 6 is out again this week. Let's look at that.
Yeah.
All right, we're moving on. It's okay-ish out of 10.
Yeah, it's all right.
Next up is
Uh,
Dr. Stone. Weird one this week, I think.
yeah,
I feel like.
kind of fast. Kind of kind of had the vibes of that, that quintessential Doctor Stone that we keep mentioning. Uh, where, it's kind of, hey, we're doing things. Hey, we're going places, which I'm fine with. But that final page was a bit of a, oh wow, kind of moment
Yeah, the
where
final
it's like,
page
yeah,
was amazing. Awesome final page. But there's definitely some stuff where I'm like, what the fuck? Like the dog and the pig building a wall.
yeah, that was a bit weird.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Oh, the dog must have looked at this dam to get inspiration for the wall." And I was like, "That's a fucking dog, bro. He's not doing shit."
Hey, let's not talk shit about our animal companions. Dogs can be smart.
Like, smart enough to observe a dam and then be like, "I should replicate this building structure to protect their statues so their statues don't break."
Yeah, of course.
All right,
That's one of the first commands I always teach every dog I own.
I also like
Says
the complete um 180 on the sad ending with the dog and the pig, and Suika was like, "Bye," and she's like crying, and then the very next page they're like, "Oh, we brought out food," and they're back.
yeah, it's I mean, that's very Doctor Stone as well. That sort of 1-2 punch. But yeah, no, I think the biggest thing about this chapter is just that we now officially have entered the final part. Um, and that now that all the ingredients are set up, and we have pretty much everything we need, we're probably going to space very soon, which I am very happy about. I really want to finally get to the bottom of this mystery.
Yeah,
I
it's
want to
been
finally
years
understand
in the
what happened.
making. I'm almost
Yeah,
worried that
like,
nothing they do will be satisfactory.
yeah, I mean, true, but you can still tell when something is actually, coming from a place of wanting to actually produce something good, and when it's just sort of an excuse. And I'm sure whatever this twist ends up including, it will be something that you can really tell was planned from the start. Because I kind of feel like when you write a story like Dr. Stone, you have to have a solid idea of what the mystery is from chapter one. Like, I don't think they would have just made that up on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they didn't just make it up on the spot, but I feel like no matter, it's been so long that any ending I feel like they have planned, as far as like how it happened, someone is gonna be like, "Oh, that's what the Medusa is. That's lame." Like,
Yeah, I mean, that's true. There's always gonna be someone who's gonna be disappointed. with these ending. I mean, it's kind of like it's not quite on the same scale, but it's comparable to like the One Piece, right? Like no matter what happens there, someone's gonna be disappointed because there's just too many years of theorizing riding on it. And Doctor Stone's Medusas are sort of like a miniature version of it, you know, both in time and in sort of ubiquitousness. Because obviously One Piece is called One Piece and has been around for much longer, but I think the comparison still holds up.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I have faith. I think that Doctor Stone, if it ends like after this arc, which it's going to, because it just called itself the final arc, um, is just consistently good or better throughout the entirety of its run. I can't think of any
Hmm.
portion of Doctor Stone where I'm like, wow, this is bad and boring. Like it's
Hmm.
always been good, um, which is pretty rare. I think even in stuff I really really love, there's at least parts where I'm like, yeah, could be better. Um, so I have faith that they'll do a good job, but it's tough not to worry about it when you're really coming to the conclusion of a series that has been predominantly a mystery series. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of because the thing is obviously the way mysteries work on a sort of meta psychological level is that whatever we come up with in our heads is always going to be cooler for us than whatever the story can come up with, and the final result will always necessitate a little bit of negotiation between your own expectations and the actual canon information. So you know, I guess we'll just deal with it when we get there. I'm sure we'll be sitting there screaming rawness and swag, at least a little bit.
Probably a
That's
little
for
bit.
sure. Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, I don't think I have anything else to say on Doctor Stone.
Yeah, I don't really think I do either. It was an interesting chapter, kind of crazy, but I'm excited to see where we go from here. Out of 10.
Basically. Uh, are we in top three territory now?
We are in top 3 territory now, and for the first time in a long time, it's only 3. So
Yeah, let's go.
we had a tie between Mashle and MHA, and Mashle's first on the list. So we will do Mashle first.
Which was good. Which was very good. I'm
Super
digging this
fucking
shit.
raw. Holy shit. Even by Mashle standards.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
This is just one of those like squad pull-up chapters.
Which is the best
Uh,
kind of chapter. That ending was so good. Just the squad rolling up of the previous villains.
and then Mash being like, "Oh, he still talks to his dolls. Damn."
Yeah. And then you had the sword user and of course Macron. This is gonna be so fucking cool.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I also like the way they explain sort of the personalities of the walkies, the walkies students. Where it's like, oh, you know, this school is all about power and it has always produced the best results. Um, so yeah, I think it's just cool. It's a very nice chapter that sort of ties in the lore of the series and the rawness of the series, and still retains the humor. Uh, where you know the evil guy is talking in metaphors like, ah, when has a younger sibling ever surpassed the elder? And Mash is like, sibling? I don't have any brothers. What the
Yeah, he's
fuck
like,
are
I
you
don't know what
talking
you're talking
about?
about. And then one of them's like, oh, I think they mean the plot of the story. And Mash is like, oh, that?
I also like it. I don't know if I like it or if it's kind of dumb, but I veer on the side of liking it. That him being the son of Innocent Zero is just a thing. That it's just no one really talks much about it. It's not like this huge issue. It's just like, oh yeah, right. That's a thing that is the case.
Yeah, it's like a
Uh,
normal series would make such a huge deal out of it, and it would be like the defining aspect of the series. And this one's just like, oh yeah, that is actually a thing.
yeah. Um, it's just good shit, and I like what we're setting up here with this like huge group battle. I'm a bit confused as to why they're fighting already. I would have expected them to actually stick to the triathlon tournament or whatever it is, which they might still do. They might still
Yeah, I
just
mean
say,
they
"Hey,
might because it was
psych."
only one attack, so the staff
Yeah,
might be like, all right, break it up. Plus, they have to
yeah.
approve the other 3 uh, guys coming and fighting on their team.
Hmm.
So I do think it won't just be like a brawl, but we'll
Hmm.
see.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, this was a really, really solid chapter. I just like Mash a lot, honestly. Like, whenever he's in the scene and he's talking, whether he's talking serious or he's being stupid, he's just so likable. Like, you can really tell that he cares about the few things he understands. And whatever he doesn't understand, he's actually sort of like, oh, hey, what's that? Interesting. So yeah, it's hard to dislike him. I'd be genuinely surprised if there was someone who didn't like MASH as
Ah,
a
there's got to be
character.
some miserable fuck out there who thinks MASH sucks.
Not only is he going to be out there, he's going to be in your comment section. Uh,
Inevitably.
Inevitably, yeah.
Also,
Hi,
man,
shout
page
out.
16 is so good.
Page 60. Just the giant explosions.
Yeah, like the millions of attacks, not millions, but like the bunch of different attacks flying at him, and then the
Hmm.
hyper detailed like view of him about to hit him, and then the explosion where the squad rolls up.
Hmm.
Ah, it's so good. I love that shit.
Yeah, it's just good shit.
Also, it lets us
Mashle is
kind
just
of
good
look at
shit.
what he looks like he's fighting against. It's like I don't know what one of those things is. It almost looks like blood or like some kind of sludge fluid. Um, or I guess it could
Well,
just be
one
like darkness or whatever. Um, looks like
like the
water, some
beams.
the stuff that makes the prison for Lance and
Oh, the prison.
yeah, that
Uh
locks them in. It's just some kind of. It looks like it's liquid or some kind of goop.
oh yeah, you're right. Actually, my bet would be on blood, honestly.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's blood too, because all of his attacks seem to like make the blood erupt out of their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So my
Yeah.
guess is blood. Um, and then it looks like there's like rock or some kind of crystal, maybe lava, because it doesn't look like water. It looks like it's more solid than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have like sort of on page 16 again, you have like a particle, like the lowest most beam
Yeah,
that is
that almost
attacking
looks like
Mash.
some kind of metal shavings or something, or even
Bees?
they almost look like bugs. Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah,
they look like they have wings.
not the bees. But yeah, I'm very excited to see where we go with this because obviously this is probably one of the final story beats of the series if the author's comments about it being 50% done are to be believed. I don't know how much further we can go since that 50% apparently was passed quite a minute ago.
Yeah, I mean,
And this chat.
I guess we don't know how many of these people are Innocent Zero kids. It's probably not just the one, right?
That's true. That's true.
Because he's
I don't even
supposed to
know
be
if it's
fighting a
the.
bunch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't even really. I wasn't even really sure if the one guy that mentions it is even supposed to be an actual kid of Innocent Zero or if that is supposed to be a misunderstanding.
That's
Because I
true.
thought he might just be speaking in metaphors. But I mean, I guess we'll have to see. So yeah, very very cool chapter. I'm very much looking forward to what this fight will hold. Do you have anything else?
No, Ronis and Swag of the highest caliber
Yeah,
out of 10.
rawness and swag out of 10. What's next?
Next up is My Hero Academia.
Oh boy. The chapter everyone's mad about.
I'm super mad about it because they let the creepy pervert who is in love with him have a full frontal view of Deku's dick in this chapter.
Yeah, not just that, the face he makes is so disturbing.
Yeah, he's like rubbing up against Deku's legs and he's super into it.
Jesus. Yeah, that's weird, but I can't bring myself to be too critical of this chapter. I've seen some people say that, oh no, the atmosphere is ruined and everything's happy again now. It's like, no, not really. Like, it was pretty clear that we're gonna need a breather chapter one of these days. Because I mean, it's just been sad Deku for 20-ish chapters now. I'm okay with us getting this sort of relaxation um, chapter because I think it kind of puts us in Deku's shoes in that sense, where we just like him have been going through some shit for the last 20 weeks, and now we get to breathe with him again. We get sort of a lightweight, not very plot challenging chapter, where we just kind of get to see these kids again. And I I do empathize with some of the things I've seen said about it. Like, I think it's a huge shame that this chapter doesn't take the opportunity to like bring up the kids actually being kind of traumatized by the war. I hope that comes up again. If it doesn't, that is kind of a bummer. Um, but aside from that, like some of the stuff I've seen people say, it's like, oh, Deku didn't get to talk to Araka. That's lame. And it's like, it's kind of obvious that he's gonna get to talk to her about it
Yeah,
at a
it's
later
not like
date.
they're gonna not talk ever.
Yeah. Like it's this is like a typical, oh, we're just postponing it. I don't think this is supposed to be the end of that thing. Like the chapter is called Rest. Like, come on, fellas. This is literally just a break chapter. Um, in more ways than one, which I'll get to later. And the interactions are really good. Like I like sort of Todoroki's big brother approach that he has to Deku here, where he like also covers him in a blanket and shit. Just good stuff. And I like how the students are like, hey, you know, we've managed to cheer people up once. We can do it again. And I think it's hilarious that people think we're just going to get another concert now. Because one, I think that's not what's going to happen. But two, if it does happen, it's going to be the most tonally dissonant thing the series has ever done.
Yeah, I
Like the
can't
world is
imagine they're actually gonna do
crumbling.
that.
You can't or you can.
I can't imagine they're gonna be like the next chapter is planning another culture festival. Like I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are like last time at the Culture Festival. Oh no, they're doing another concert. Like, no, she's kind of clearly talking about these things in a sort of more meta way, in a sense of last time we banded together and we made everything good, and we should do that again. So, I just don't think really that this is gonna turn into another concert. If it does, that's hilarious in the worst ways. But before that, we'll just have to see. Um,
So does this
I
ending
suppose.
bit with Hawks talking imply that they were wrong about how much time they had?
What do you mean?
So they give this. Hawks is giving this big speech, and he's talking about like we caught the doctor, and our doctors also did research, and based on his confessions and our research, we came to the conclusion we had about um, 2 months of time to
Hmm.
deal with Shigaraki. Then there's a very like a single bubble panel that says that's what we thought, and then it goes in to start talking about the information they got from Stain. Does that imply that they were wrong and what they got from Stain makes them realize they have way less time?
Maybe, maybe
That's what
that is
I'm getting from it.
possible. That is possible. Now that I'm rereading it, that's actually probable that there is an additional crinkle in this. Um, but also, um, holy shit, I like what they're setting up here. I like that this seems to be the segue into finding out what the fuck happened between Shigaraki and All for One in the meantime. So yeah, I'm actually really hyped for next week. And the only thing I am a bit touchy on, and I think a lot of people agree with me on this from what I've seen online, Deku and All Might's reunion kind of feels like an afterthought.
Yeah, that was like the most flat thing I've ever seen. He just showed up and was
Yeah,
like, "Sorry," and then Deku's like, "Oh, that's okay. I like you," and he's like, "Okay, I gotta go."
yeah, but I almost feel like that sort of anticlimax is intentional. Like it's treated with this sort of, hey, everything's good now, haha, kind of dissonance, which makes me wonder if we're gonna revisit this. If we don't, and this is all we ever get on this, that's kind of lame. But
It did have
as
a
I said,
really
I
good
just have a
opening
vibe.
panel though of Todoroki pointing to him looking inside the window, like a creepy
Yeah,
monster man.
yeah, that is actually such a good joke. It's like I can't sleep until I apologize, but he's not picking up his phone, and then you move over and you see him in the window, and then you see Todoroki pointing at him. It's so funny. But yeah, overall, I'm a fan of this chapter. Like, it's just a breather. I don't know why people expected us to never get a chapter like this again. I think even a couple of weeks ago we were talking here how we need a sort of like laid back, relaxed chapter again before we get into the final bits. Because otherwise, it would just kind of feel exhausting.
I also
Frankly, the
really like
villain.
how he dedicates 2 entire pages to the meme that Deku smells like shit.
Yeah.
There's literally no content in these pages other than them being like, this boy fucking reeks.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like, I just like these characters interacting, and I know that people are always very cynical about that. Like, oh, but we don't know if their village was destroyed or what their backstory is. And it's like, I don't fucking care. I just want to see Kaminari and Kirishima be doofuses together. Like the panel where they're all just in the bath and they have the dumb smiley faces instead of their actual faces. That's
Uh
maybe one of my favorite panels in the entire series so far.
huh.
Like, holy shit, that's so cool. I love it.
I
Like,
also
this is the
like how they show Uraraka passed out and she still has her oven mitts on.
yeah, because that's a joke from one of the volume extras that she sleeps with oven mitts. I don't remember the reason,
It's so she
but
doesn't
it's
touch things and make them float in her sleep.
yeah, no, that's actually probably the reason why. You're right.
Although you'd
'Cause-
think that she would just touch the mitt and make it float, but I guess it's not heavy enough to do anything if it's on her hand.
Yeah, exactly. Um, No, because the volume extra I know it from is her financial advice column in the volumes, where it's like, Uraraka financial advice. Sleeping costs less than being awake, so just sleep as much as you can.
That's real American advice right there.
I mean, the first episode of Uraraka's financial advice: don't eat, just don't consume food, and you're good. Uh, just a whole lot of fun. Um, Do you have anything else on the plot? Because otherwise, I would jump into some sort of more meta stuff regarding this chapter in Horikoshi.
As for the full-on plot, not really. I did like the little bit of Todoroki kind of talking about like, you know, it's not just him that people are worried about. Endeavor doesn't want to come back here because people are uncomfortable because of Dabi, and I think that they know that about me too, and they're also uncomfortable about me. And it's nice to kind of set that like there's more going on than just Deku, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this world, I think, has always done a good job of making everything sort of interconnected and important. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it wouldn't have been a big deal, but it would have been kind of lame if they were just like, everyone's cool with everything except just they don't like Deku because he's a stinky boy. So I'm glad they put a little bit more time into just kind of fleshing out like why they're not all just sitting at UA waiting to get attacked.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think this was a good place to put that little bit of Todoroki as well, where he's like, I am resolute in making sure that people understand that I've moved past my family. And we also get a very nice Todoroki smile. Absolutely like that. In general, like I just like seeing these characters do things and be characters. I just wish, again, my one big wish with this chapter, besides the All Might stuff, would be please show me that these kids actually are genuinely affected by the war. Because in this chapter, it kind of just
Yeah,
doesn't
it really
feel
feels
like
like
it.
they don't give a shit.
Yeah. Which, they might just be coping. But please let that have a knock on effect in the end. I really don't want this to just be brushed off. If it is, that's unfortunate. But speaking of unfortunate, I am worried about Horikoshi. I'm not gonna lie. I am kind of getting worried about the man. For a few reasons. So first, of course, we had that surprise break a couple of weeks ago. Was it like 4 weeks ago, something like that?
I think it was more recent than that, but yeah, it was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we have that. He has suddenly, without any like notice or anything, he stopped doing sketches for the anime episodes. I want to say as well a couple of weeks
It
ago.
was not last week, but the week before was the off week.
Yeah, okay. So he stopped doing sketches around that time as well. Um, he uh, apparently the newest volume cover he submitted without a draft. He just put in his first idea, and that was it. There was no extra drafts, no extra material with it. And now this chapter, if you kind of look at it with that in mind, you realize, wow, this sure is a very artistically conservative chapter that uses a lot of simple or no backgrounds at all and rushes through its material at a kind of crazy pace. Like, we get All Might's reunion, we get the kids dealing with Deku, we get Todoroki talking about his family, we get revelations about the plot with Garaki, we get revelations about the plot with Stain, all in a very tight, condensed, and not super visually elegant way. And something about that just makes me think, is this man doing well? Because this is not his usual output. And combined with the other things I've just mentioned, I just can't help but worry whether or not there might be something going on behind the scenes. Because this reminds me a lot of like some of the chapters we were getting during joint training, with very little sort of forward momentum in that sense. Uh, and obviously here I think it's disguised better because it's a sort of breather, chill chapter. But at the same time, you look at especially the panels where All Might is just explaining things, where you just have like basically half a page just filled with white or nondescript Photoshop flame backgrounds.
Ugh.
So yeah, just food for thought, just something to
Yeah, I
keep
mean,
in
it's
mind
possible he
maybe.
was just sick, but we all know that you don't get better as a mangaka because you work yourself to exhaustion.
Yeah, exactly. So I really hope he's taking care of himself. Because obviously I'd hate to see, well, him as a talented mangaka to suffer because of his work. And on a side note, also, of course, I'd hate to see his work suffer because of that. So yeah, those are just sort of my meta thoughts on this chapter. And that's probably also my final thoughts on this chapter. Like, it's good. I'm happy to see that the sort of heart of the series stays intact with a focus on the students, and I'm ready to see what the plot has in store for us next, since this is sort of also a transition chapter between the villain hunt arc and whatever comes next. So, yeah, that's my verdict. Do you have anything else on it?
No, I think that was plenty.
All right. In that case, is it time for the finale?
It is time for I like how we just call it the finale because
Well,
we know
wow.
every time what it's gonna be. It is time for Jujutsu Kaisen. This shit fucking rules. This is the best. Oh my god, dude. He
I just want to say the immaculate Kenjutsu is real, and Yuji's dad tasted it,
Yushi's
and I
dad, the forbidden fucking fruit. Imagine, imagine fucking having the stones to make a villain who is currently a brain in a male body. Talk about how he fucked the main character's dad.
I just want the final fight between Yuji and Kenjaku to start off with, "Hey kid, I fucked your dad,"
It
and
has
Yuji's
to.
like,
It has to. If Kenraku does not tell Yuji that, hey, I fucked your dad, I'm gonna be so angry.
well, Yuji can just retort with, "Well, yeah, my dad fucked you."
No, you got fucked by my dad.
My dad gave you that super duper drill supreme 3000 treatment, and you want to talk shit to me?
Also, I like how the context that this puts the death of his grandfather in, where the grandfather's like, "Hey, I really got to tell you something about your parents," and Yuji's like, "No, shut up, Grandpa."
He's like,
He's trying to
Yuji.
tell you that your mom is possessed by a living brain, and Yuji's like, "I don't want to talk to you, Grandpa."
Also, just like, God, I'm okay. Let's talk about the big thing. Obviously, that Kenjaku calls Yuji his son. I wonder how that works though, because didn't we hear that Yuji was not the son of the possessed lady, but the son of the of his father's previous wife? I thought that was
That
I thought that
now
was
I don't
the
remember.
thing.
There was definitely some conversation along those lines, but I don't know. No, fuck. What chapter was that? Do you remember?
I'm trying to find it right now. Um, Let's see.
Was it after the fight with
Yuta?
Yuta and Naoya?
I think so. I think it must. I think it was during like Tengen.
During the Tengen shit? Okay.
I'm trying to find it right now as well. No, maybe it was before. I don't know.
Because now that you say that, I'm like, oh, God, there's like not a lot of time in between there.
Yeah, because I thought that it was said that his father, I think his father was name was Gene, that Gene had a kid with the previous lady in his life.
And then but then why would the kid be important if it wasn't a gross brain baby?
Yeah, I mean I know, but I'm trying to find out where the fuck this was.
Yeah, when did this information happen, man? Fuck.
Yeah, because I know it happened. I remember the flashback.
No, yeah, the flashback definitely happened, but now like I went through the beginning of Tengen and now I'm at like Maki killing the Zenin clan. Like it must have been before
Yeah,
Tengen.
yeah, it must have been like right before Tengen in that case. Um,
All right, let's see. 139 is when Naoya attacks. 140 is when Yuta shows up. 141 is the
I found it. It's 143.
143. Okay. Oh, is it when Yuta's like or when Yuji's like passed out? Yeah.
Yeah, it's in chapter 4.
No, I know you wanted a child and that didn't happen with the last wife.
Oh, you're right. So, oh my God. Okay, so Kenjaku is straight up his mother.
Kenjaku is well, yeah, whoever the possessed body that Kenjaku is in, which I don't really know necessarily how Kenjaku's possession thing works. I mean, I don't think they've told us, but does that imply that this woman is a sorcerer,
I mean, I guess.
or can he just stick his brain in wherever?
Uh, I was trying to find a joke there about sticking things in, but I really just couldn't come up with one that was funny and appropriate. So, yeah, I don't know how exactly it works. Um, but this is kind of crazy because it kind of is that sort of it was me all along plot twist. Because now we also know that seemingly this the occult club stumbling onto the finger was not a coincidence. That
Yes,
was planned all along.
but it seems like they didn't know either. So I'm curious as to how they're eventually going to reveal that Kenjaku did that, because she
Hmm.
seemed to have no idea who that was or what they were talking about. But it
Yeah.
definitely felt like Kenjaku set it up on purpose for Yuji to incarnate Sukuna. Um, Also, I love the page turn where page 7 is just black and then page 8 is like a giant cursed spirit destroying the city with people fighting it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's super cool. Like them just walking through the darkness and then realizing where they actually are. Super cool.
It's also interesting that the other occult club member did not get the line about being friends with his son. Only
Yeah.
Sasaki did.
Yeah. Which is pretty
So there's something going on.
sus.
Yeah, they wouldn't have pointed that out if it wasn't for a reason, some sort of reason.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also weird because Kenjaku has like a weirdly he seems so gentle in this chapter.
Yeah, of like kindly offering them to walk out and like gently escorting her out of the barrier she wanted to go.
Yeah, because wasn't I mean it's been a while since that's been mentioned, but wasn't his end game goal to combine all human consciousness with Tengen into one like super curse being?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah. I don't know why then he would bother to be kind to Sasaki like that. It's kind of bizarre
Yeah, I mean
from like a
it was
character
definitely
standpoint.
soft energy, that's for sure,
Yeah.
which
I
felt
mean
weird, but I mean,
maybe it's just like a pleasant illusion that he sends the people he escorts out. But at the same time, why would he even bother giving them the ability to escort them out? Is it because of what he mentions where the barrier is so strong it needs a downside? Could it
yeah,
be
I think
that?
that he's saying that because of the how strong the barrier is and how big it is, there's limits to what he can do with it. Like he
Yeah,
can't make it
okay.
unreasonable. So as part of a condition to make the barrier more stable is he allows people who start inside of it to leave it if they don't want to be there.
Yeah, okay. So I suppose that takes part of that. Takes care of that unsuspected kindness thing. But still, it's kind of weird, definitely,
Still
to
though,
see
I
him
mean,
behave like
you know,
this.
it was such a like he could have just been like, "Okay, I'm going to snap my fingers and you'll wake up outside." But it was like a weird thing of him like reassuring her and like escorting her out by the arm slowly
Hmm.
to the exit of the barrier. It definitely felt very like not villainy.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't feel like a villain this chapter. Um, but yeah, like this is one of those like wowza chapters that we get. Also a lot of sort of planning for uh for the next couple of events. And I'm definitely hyped for it. Like the calling game can finally get started.
Oh, dude, I'm so ready for the calling game to get started. We have a plan. We're moving out. The last 2 pages are so good. Suiting up and getting ready to go.
Yeah,
Ah, I love it.
this
And
is
then I like the
Shonen.
yeah, just raw shonen energy. I
Yeah.
love uh the whole like strategy meeting. So good.
Hmm.
Where Panda and Hikari are going to Tokyo 2 because Hikari's gonna have to go and take out Kashimo on his own because that's the strongest player. And then I also like Yuji doing his like, I can't be around you, Fushiguro, and Fushiguro just being like, will you shut up? Getting
Yeah.
sick of your shit.
We'll just deal with it if it happens.
And then I love,
Uh,
oh God, the whole last page is like showing the big calling game barriers around, and the
yeah, yeah.
Kogane being like, this is such a good set. This is like an anime episode ending hook of them
Yeah,
saying
pretty
like,
much.
yeah, we'll enter, and then it just shows all of them like one by one getting ready to walk in. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, also, Gege's art has been so on point ever since Shibuya. Aside
Yes,
from, the times where he was very clearly just overwhelmed.
just physically
Uh,
ill. Yeah.
yeah, like that panda in the second to last page. Look at his ears. Look at the sort of like shape of his ears and how well that is portrayed
How they
just through
look like
different,
open. Yeah.
yeah, just through like different shading. That's so cool. Love that.
Also,
There's a lot of
which colony is Yuta in?
one that is very far away, so we don't have to worry about him.
Right, but
That's
it's
the.
not Sendai, is it?
I don't think it's Sendai.
Because I'm just curious as to like, okay, we have the two main characters, which Yuji and Megami, which are going to the Tokyo 1, and then we have the
Hmm.
other part of our main team, which is Hikari and Panda going to Tokyo 2, and then we have Yuta going to one. I think that's not. I agree that it's not the Sendai one. I think it starts with a K. I don't remember which one though. Um,
Mm,
so then that leaves us as to like, what are these other colonies for?
yeah. Well, I
And
mean,
where's Maki?
that is true. That's the big unknown.
She's still MIA. Because we know that this is going on technically at the same time she's killing everyone.
Yes.
And then we know after she killed everyone that there was a few day period where she like hunted down the stragglers.
Yeah.
So she may not join in right away.
Hmm.
And if she doesn't, they made a point today to say that the reason that they probably haven't heard from Yuta is that electronic communication doesn't work from inside to outside. So how would she even really get involved or know where to go? Like, is she just going to start going into places?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's definitely kind of weird. Um, I guess Maki and Yuta are going to remain sort of the wild cards in this arc. The character we will ask about every single time. To be sort of, to keep us on our toes in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they could just jump in at any time. Uh, God, dude, I'm so excited for the calling game. It's finally here.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like it didn't take very long to get to the next big climax arc because this very much feels like a climax arc. Uh, not quite on the level of Shibuya, I want to say, but very similar in sort of the ramifications it will have for the plot.
Definitely, definitely. And I loved like the white panel of just like how much time they have left before like to rescue Sumiki. Wait, didn't
Mhm.
Yuta go to get her?
I think so. He was on his way to rescue Sumiki or to
So then
secure
he
her, I
must be
guess.
in her colony then, wherever that is.
Yeah. This is what the part where we as filthy Westerners just have a disadvantage because we don't know every train station in Tokyo by heart. So when do they say that?
Well, he says it initially when they break off from Tengen because he's like, we don't have time to wait around because Sumiki needs help now. And then I think in the last chapter, Hakari or someone says where Yuta, or maybe Panda says where Yuta is. Oh no, not the last one because that's the judge one.
Hmm. Let's see.
Let's see. I know that someone tells Hakari where Yuta is.
Okay, so that would be in some of the very recent chapters.
Hmm.
Also, I wasn't there last week, but can I just say the last chapter was so fucking good?
With the lawyer, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it was.
that was fantastic.
I don't know. Yuta is somewhere. He's somewhere with
Yeah,
Sumiki, I
he's
think.
just chilling. He's just chilling.
He's just
We're
hanging
just
out.
hang. Yeah. Um. Yeah, I'm just trying to find Yuta here, but I really just can't.
Yeah, God, I need to control F on this app.
Yeah.
And anytime Yuta is mentioned, he's somewhere that's not
Yeah.
relevant to where our guys are going, specifically to keep him out of
Exactly.
it.
He's just hanging out. He's just chilling. Taking some R&R. Um. Do we have anything else on the chapter?
No, it's fucking amazing. Also,
Yeah.
Hakari back in uniform, cool,
Yes.
fucking
Very
cool.
cool. I really do like his design a lot.
I also like how his uniform is also like kind of customized because it's got the hood.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's very cool. Um. It's weird because we always thought of Hakaru of looking like a certain way, and now that he's actually here, I think I prefer this design over his original one. Just sort of brings that sort of roughness into the cast because I feel like besides Toto, we haven't had many brawlers in the Jujutsu Kaisen mainstay cast, and Toto's been MIA since Shibuya. So I'm glad that we've sort of filled that gap with Hakari, who definitely has that sort of brawler vibe about him.
Yeah, because Yuji and Maki are very like martial arts, like
Yeah,
trained fighters, and Hakari is just like I'm gonna fucking throw hands.
yeah, it's really cool. But okay, in that case, I think I've said my piece on
I
Jujutsu Kaisen and
I
this week's
believe
jump.
that I have as well. So we're gonna go ahead, start winding down the episode. I'm gonna flash our lovely patrons on the screen right now. If you've
Hmm.
donated to our Patreon,
Thank you
you
all
are
so
now officially
much.
on the screen. We got Zawardo, Kino, a Contour 980. What is that? Is that like a Monster Hunter? Isn't that a Monster Hunter monster?
Yes, that's a Cantor is a monster hunter monster. It's a fire type flying wyvern that doesn't fly.
Is that the thing that like burrows into the lava and shoots its head out and shoots little beams at you?
Yes.
Aha, okay. See, I know Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I mean,
And then we have
what's
Char, Nils Schlatter, Sup, which is my favorite one. Imported Corgi, which is also really good. And
Mhm.
Michael Payne. Thank you guys for donating to the Patreon. We appreciate you. And
Absolutely
for
wonderful,
those of you who
lads.
have not yet, because some of you on this patron list haven't, if you're still listening to this episode by now, you need to send us messages with your monthly recommendation for the patron reader segment. Can't hold a vote when only
Absolutely do
one
that.
person recommends a thing.
Yeah, that's kind of not how that works. But yeah, thank you everyone for your support. We really appreciate it. And I guess this is the part where we sign off.
I guess so, everybody. We will see
Yeah.
you next week. Remember to get your art contest entries in because clock is ticking. Time is running out.
Yep. If you were hesitant about being creative, this is your second to last warning, I guess.
Yeah, you'll have exactly 2 weeks because I guess we'll just stop accepting submissions like the day of the episode. So like
Yeah,
the
pretty
morning
much.
of episode 47, we won't take anything that's submitted. So
Well, morning is subjective.
morning for me.
Morning. Okay, yeah, you're the admin guy
I'm
when
the
it comes to
cutoff date
SNC.
of this. My sleep schedule determines if you get in or not.
Yeah. All right. In that case, see you all around. Bye bye.
Bye, everybody.